everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me tonight on Off Limits. Tonight we're talking about gay myths. By the way, if this is your first time listening to the show, the Off Limits Show, you can go to offlimitsshow.com. You can go to Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. Also, Twitter and Facebook on there as well, and also on iTunes and iHeartRadio.com. So feel free to check me out in all of those places anytime you like. It is, what is today? Tuesday, June 16th, 2015. And can you believe it's 2015, by the way? I can't believe it's 2015. I know it just seems like yesterday it was just turning 2000 to me. Of course, I may be just mired in the past because I, like the 90s and missed them so much. But I certainly seems like just yesterday it was the 90s, and we're already 2015. And thinking back to all the shit that's happened in the past 15 years to me, and the things I've endured and gone through, and changes in my life, and it's amazing that we're 15 years into a new millennium. I mean, crazy. But I mean, I'm sure most of you have come to that conclusion already on your own and have already made peace with it. But it's just fascinating to me that we're still we're this far into the 2000s already. Considering I was born in 1975, that sounds so old now. I know when I was a kid, the 70s didn't seem very far away because, it was just, the last decade, and it was a couple decades ago, and it was a few decades ago now. So it's like, Jesus, it just doesn't go away. It keeps going on and on and on. But anyway, welcome to the show. I was reading an article about gay myths, and I thought I would discuss that tonight because I felt it was something interesting to talk about. A lot of the problems we as gay people or GLBT community have are related to myths and lies and stereotypes that are out there about gay people and gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual people. And I think it's unfortunate because we certainly have, we, just like anyone else, are not one-dimensional beings. We are multidimensional, and we are, as I've said before on my show, one of the most, if not the most diverse, minorities or oppressed groups in the world, because we encompass so many different types of people in our group. We have black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, all races, all religions, all sexes, all everything. So all financial backgrounds. We have it all. So it is easy for opponents of gay rights, or people in general who don't like gays, or people who are just misinformed or ignorant about gays in general. When I say gays, of course, I mean GLBT. I'm not going to say GLBT every time, okay? So you know what I mean when I say gays. I mean the entire community. GLBTQIA, okay? Gay, lesbian, bi, transgender, questioning, intersex, and even allies. So I think when we are, as gay people, are cast into a certain light by people, specifically by people like who are pastors or preachers or priests or people of religious cloth of some sort, we are often cast in a negative light, and they often say all of these horrible things about us, and because they have an agenda. They're often talking about the gay agenda, which is simply just to have gay rights and equality, but their agenda is to keep us from having them and to curtail them and make sure that we are somehow continually relegated to a second-class citizenship. And so that is their agenda. And so as a result of that, one way to do that is to vilify a group of people, and they're trying to vilify us, and they have, and they do. I mean, as far back and well before, but, as far back, of course, as Anita Bryant in the 70s. And before that, with those horrible and horrid anti-gay propaganda videos about all gay men being pedophiles and about how gays are mentally sick and ill and so forth. So, I mean, it started a long time ago, and I'm sure well before that, but it's been going on for so long that people just continually believe these things without any regard for factual or fact-checking or for finding out what is and isn't true. Just taking it as truth because that's what they were taught by their parents or their pastor or their priest or whatever, or their friend, or they learned it in the classroom or wherever they learned it. they learned it, and they've never really questioned whether it's true or not. And that, unfortunately, has been what's happened for so long in society. So I wanted to list a few other things and talk about them, and a few of the myths about we as the GLBT community, and then we're going to go into the news, what's going on in the news, and then we're going to go. So should be a short show. But anyway, so the first thing is that LGBT people are more promiscuous. And this is one of the biggest ones. Specifically, gay men are far more vilified in this sense than lesbians generally are, although that's not necessarily true all the time. Generally, gay men are seen to be highly promiscuous people. Now, the article said that in 2010 OkCupid poll had 98% of the gay people responded that they had 20 or fewer partners in their lifetime. And the heterosexuals, 99% of the heterosexuals responded exactly the same. So that means that we're pretty much just like everybody else. We seem to have, about the same as heterosexuals do in terms of partners. It is not true generally that LGBT people are more promiscuous. Now, everyone's different. I've known people when I was younger. I had a friend whom had slept with over 1,000 people by the time he was like 22. He was what you might call promiscuous. He was gay. And, but I've also known women who were very promiscuous, who had just as many partners as quickly, who were heterosexual, and men, LeBron James, right? Or whatever that guy's name, Magic Johnson, whoever it was that had all the fucking partners. But I mean, we have a bazillion different examples of people on both sides of the fence, gay or straight, that have been promiscuous. And, I've had far more than 20 partners in my lifetime, but I haven't had 1,000 or anywhere near that. I've had, not that many, but more than 20. So to me, 20 seems low personally. But I've been openly gay and out since I was 15 years old, and having sex since I was 15 years old, like most straight people. And a lot of gay people don't come out till later, don't have sex until then. So, I think that's one reason why my number's higher. But anyway, I've also been in the same monogamous relationship for almost 8 years. So, and then before that, I was in one years before for 3 years. And so there were years I didn't have sex at all with anyone but one person. So it's all about if you're in a relationship. It's about if you're not in a relationship. If you're single and you're dating, I think, it's perfectly acceptable to have sex with somebody, maybe every other month or something. I don't know, if you're single and dating. If you're, I don't know, it just depends. I think it's acceptable to have sex with as many people as you want, personally. I don't really think it's a judgment call for anyone to make about how many people have sex with people. It's just that the anti-LGBT people out there try to make the fact that gay people have sex at all make us seem as if we're sexually ravenous and can't control ourselves, and we're all about sex, and that's all that being gay is about. And of course, we all know that that's not true. But that's the reason that it becomes an issue, not because there's anything wrong with sleeping with a lot of people. I think people should have the freedom to do whatever they want with their own body. It's their choice, and that's fine. Of course, that to me applies, of course, to abortion as well as to sexual conquest or expression, or whatever, or tattoos, or whatever you want to do with your body. It's your body, and I think if you want to do it, that's your choice. I don't think people should hurt themselves, like cutting or trying to kill themselves or something. But I think otherwise, do what you want to do with your body. It's your body. You own it. No one else does, and no one can tell you what to do with it unless you're in prison. So anyway, number one is LGBT people are more promiscuous, and that's simply not true. That's not true at all. Number two, that gay men are repulsed by women and lesbians are repulsed by men. Well, of course, this is not true. This is also part of the... I'm sorry, I'm speechless because I'm so sick of hearing these stupid, ignorant things people say about gay people. Let me get a drink real quick, too. I think it's so ludicrous. Excuse me. But the fact is that, as far as a gay man, I'm gay. There are parts of a woman's body that I am repulsed by just because I don't find the vagina to be attractive, or the vulva, or the clitoris, or any of that whole area down there. None of that, or labia, none of it is attractive to me at all. I mean, I'm gay. So what do you expect from me? It just, to me, is not something that I would ever want to be near or in or around or close enough to smell or anything else. Okay. It's just not for me. I mean, I'm gay. So what do you expect? And lesbians, I don't think they're necessarily repulsed by men in general, but I think that they, just like me, just like gay men can appreciate a woman's aesthetic beauty. Of course I can appreciate a woman for her beauty and her sexuality and her sexualness and all that great stuff, and can be attracted to a woman in ways that aren't sexual, but I'm not sexually attracted to her. I don't want to have sex with her. And it's the same with lesbians. They are not repulsed by men any more than I'm repulsed by women generally. They just simply have no interest in having sex with them. So it's just another way for the right-wing nutbags to somehow kind of make us seem different and to somehow make us seem aberrant and something wrong with us by saying that we are somehow, that lesbians hate men and that gay men hate women, when in reality it's generally the opposite. Lesbians get along really, really well with heterosexual men generally. And gay men get along really well with heterosexual women because they all have something in common. Gay men, heterosexual women like dick, and lesbians and straight men like pussy. So there you go. I mean, it's not rocket science. And it's not just that. It's a commonality and it's, that there is between gay men and straight women and lesbians and straight men about mentality generally that they share. So it is, of course, it makes sense that we all would get along with those people, but it doesn't. So it's obviously not true that we're repulsed by the opposite sex. We are not repulsed by the opposite sex. We love the opposite sex just as much as we love our own sex. We just don't want to have sex with them. Number 3, that children of lesbian, gay, bi, and transgender parents are more likely to be gay. According to many, many studies over the past few decades or couple decades, the likelihood of a child being LGBT is no greater than if that child had heterosexual parents. So the kids and the children of LGBT parents turn out to be heterosexual or homosexual just as much as with heterosexual parents. And, it's what's so ludicrous about this whole argument is that, and people say about gay people is that, it's one of the things they use against gay people to say that gay people are trying to indoctrinate children and trying to get, we need to recruit kids. This is one of those old mentalities from the old Anita Bryant days that they used to espouse all the time, and stating that we are trying to recruit people and we need to have more people because we can't breed or something. And so we have to recruit them. I was never recruited. I never got a toaster oven, so I don't know what they're talking about. But the point is that they are no more likely to be gay than if they had heterosexual parents. Because, first of all, most gay people, I'd say, and this is not a statistic, but this is just off the top of my head, but I'd say at least 99% of gay people have heterosexual parents or have grown up with heterosexual parents. And yet they're still gay. They still turn out to be gay. And so obviously exposure to a certain quote unquote lifestyle, or meaning a heterosexual lifestyle, it does not somehow make someone